What up, it's Lady Perm, LADIEPURM.com. I'm out here with Mr. Akko Mack.
She said Akko.
Akko. Tomato.
Akko Mack in the building. What's rocking it right here with Lady Perm in the building.
Another whiskey sangria over here at Carly's. And I was drinking out of the stick and not the straw.
I'm doing a margarita thing right now, you know what I'm saying?
So, Mr. Akko, the last time we got to spend some quality time recently, because we know a little bit more about each other recently.
Yeah.
But prior to that, we actually were at Uncle Charlie's big house party, which was huge. Shout out to Charlie Mack on that one.
Big up, man. What's pop locking?
For opening up his home. Of course, you had Luana Fame that helped throw the bash, and we had artists like G-Boy came out, Hannibal Leck performed, LaRoe with TGOO came out, and of course Arizona Eye Candies was in there, tearing up the building. It was going down. Greenhouse Records was there. Oh gosh, who am I missing? Oh, DJ Daddy Rich was spinning on the ones and twos. Big Freeze Life Photography was there. Shout out to Nectar Mama Lumina, however you say his last name. I'm just playing. You know I love you, Taurus Power. But this is definitely quite the treat, because for the folks that don't know too much about who you are and what you do, we're about to give them a little tour.
We're about to let them know right now, you know what I'm saying?
So go ahead and give a proper introduction to the people.
Man, you know, Akko Mack from Bionic Jive, you know what I'm saying?
Bionic Jive Entertainment.
Bionic Jive Entertainment is the company. You know what I'm saying? It's an array of things going on. Bionic Jive is the band. You know what I'm saying?
Tell us a little bit about Bionic Jive, the start and the type of music, because I was a little shocked.
Pretty much, Bionic Jive is pretty much one of the most dangerous rap metal bands on the planet right now. The only band from Arizona to tour with Eminem.
Did the Anger
Management tour. And that tour included D12, Ludacris, Papa Roach, Exhibit. You know what I mean?
That tour was huge.
Yeah, that tour was a bomb.
That was a big bill.
It was a bomb.
And it was what, about a year?
This was 30. I think it was like 36 cities. 36 cities. So we spent about 2 months on the road. About 2.5 months on the road.
Okay. I do remember that there was a big period of time that, like, a lot of, even after the tour was over, there was like a lot of still coming out, like the after effects with music and releases that were going out kind of leading after the tour and even leading into the tour. I know D12 had dropped around that time.
Yeah, they had the Purple Pill single that was blowing up back then.
Yeah, which was huge.
Yeah. Bubba Sparks that was bumping that time too.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was around that era.
So Farrah Flossie, my girl, I love her to death. She had first made mention of Bionic Jive to me and told me to do my research. So I did my research, and I was just stuck because, well, what's crazy is one of the tracks I actually was familiar with. However, the rest of the music, I was just like, what? And you're one of the main vocalists,
right? Along with Emerge McVeigh, you know what I'm saying? That's my brother right there, you know what I'm saying? So we get down for the crown, 10 toes down in the town. Yeah, Emerge McVeigh, Akko Mack, frontman, Bionic Jive, we crush. That's what we do.
So how many members are there?
There were 6 of us. Now we're down to 5. We originally started at 5, and we added an additional guitar player, but it looks like we're going to be at 5 from now on. So that's not set in stone, but that's what it looks like right now.
And you guys did all your own original music?
Yeah, we always did our own original music. Yeah. I mean, I pat myself on the back. That first album that Bionic Jive did was a classic. And what I mean by classic is that album is timeless. If you've never heard Bionic Jive and you listen to that album for the first time, it don't matter, because it's nothing you've ever heard before.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
the only closest that I can think of that would be within that same genre would be POD. That would be the only similarity that I would say.
I sat down with those guys too. Those some real cool guys, and we had some real good conversations. We sit around, smoke cigars or whatever, and just talk. You know what I mean? There's some real good cats. Very God oriented. You know, goodwill, good spirited cats. So I guess we're close, but we're still in our own lane. You know what I mean? If you wanted to compare us, I'd say POD would be okay, because I love what they do too.
Yeah, I mean that would be the only closest. I mean, because even like with a band like Papa Roach doesn't even compare to Bionic Jive.
No.
I mean, I wouldn't think of any other sound that could even compete. Because, I mean, with you being a main vocalist, you bring a different edge to the rock culture.
Right. What it is, and fuck it, fuck them, because they ain't never did shit for me. But these other motherfuckers ain't MCs. You know, we come from a real hip hop background. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference. These other cats is just, oh, I can do it, and they did it. And, you got lucky, motherfucker. But we original hardcore MCs, 90 era at that. So you know it's about lyricism when we get ready.
Right.
When we get ready, we'll play the game with you.
Right.
But if you want to get on that lyricism, you know what I'm saying? We 90 era, and y'all know what happened down in the 90s. You know what I'm saying? That's that era with, you know, Meth, Red, that whole Def Squad unit, Keith Murray, everybody like that. You know what I'm saying? So
the 90s was huge for hip hop, especially because, I mean, you did have Wu-Tang Clan.
Yep.
You know, I mean, with the 90s, you had the G-Funk era around that time too. So there was like a different clash of cultures that made up the whole syllabi of the hip hop culture at that time.
One thing my man Eric Sherman said, and I totally agree with this, that was the era when everybody that was coming out was original. Straight up.
It was. It really
nobody sounded like PMD.
Right.
Nobody sounded like Ice-T. Nobody sounded like a whole bunch of cats I could name. But everybody had the original style.
I mean,
as opposed to now where it's like, I'm sorry, it's cookie cutter.
It really is.
It's cookie cutter.
It really is. It seems like right now with the way hip hop is gone in the mainstream especially, is that if you don't fit a certain type of look, especially androgynous look, in the hip hop culture, or have that beat that can be played at the club, it really seems like hip hop is kind of struggling to keep that originality to it. So, if you were to talk about anybody in the mainstream that you would say is still keeping it original, who would that be? Hard? Is that a hard question? It's a hard question.
Eric Sermon's still keeping it original.
He's a good one.
Red Man, he plays with it a little bit, but he's still hardcore. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're on tour right now. They're on tour right now.
You know what I'm saying? Whoop.
Salute. But I mean, I would have to agree with you. There is no artist that is now breaking into the mainstream that offers really I mean, you do have Judge the Boss that just signed from here in Arizona. Do you feel that he's going to kind of be that savior for hip hop that can actually bring it back to the originality?
I don't know, and that's an honest answer. I don't know. I've heard a couple songs from Judge. Big ups, Judge the Boss, man. Do your thing. Salute, man. Get out there, get it. However you can get it, man. You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Because this game, period, right now, is just so all over the place, it ain't no telling what's going to pop next. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't answer that to say.
What do you think it's going to take for hip-hop to actually return back to its originality, where not one artist sounds the same? Because, I mean, you have so many different, you know, what we consider mainstream popularity, which is Drake and Lil Wayne and You've got Wiz, and you know, I mean, you've got all these different artists, 2 Chainz. But I mean, you're right. The music is like, why would I have the incentive to go buy each one of those CDs individual? Where if I just buy one, I pretty much hear it all.
I mean, well, they say that history repeats itself. So when or how it's going to happen, I can't give you an answer for that.
You know, I was listening to
So I think it's just a matter of history taking its course, and it's going to repeat to where it goes back. Now, it might not be just in that original boom bap form,
right,
but definitely coming back to everybody being original. It will.
You know, I was listening to Mary J. Blige, What's the 411 recently, and I mean, to me, that was like the epitome of hip-hop collabed in one album. I mean, you had Grab Pooba, you had Craig Mack, Diddy. I mean, there was so many different artists at that time.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. It was me and the homie used to bump the hell out of that damn tape.
It was the bomb too.
We used to, man, I remember a time we was bumping the hell out of that tape, driving in the damn rain on the damn freeway, and the windshield wipers went out, and I had to reach in the back seat and grab a squeegee.
And you was out the front
just so this man could see while we bumping the hell out of that damn tape, man. That's the memory that album brings back. I'm on the freeway doing 50 with a squeegee, so my man can see it drive.
They don't know struggle no more.
No,
they don't know struggle no more.
Some craziness right there. That's the memory that album brought back to you.
Right. Now, are you originally from Arizona?
Born and raised.
Okay.
That's right.
So, I mean,
from South Side to East Side, you know what I'm saying? Southern Broadway, you know what I'm saying? 24 block, that was the stomping ground. Palmdale Elementary. Y'all don't even know about that. They closed that little elementary school, but that's where I was getting down at, you know what I'm saying? Shipped over to the East Side, you know what I'm saying? Did it at Davy Crockett. Went over to Camelback, you know what I'm saying? Check my resume, homie. I ain't gonna lie to you. That's where I'm from, and that's what I did, and that's how I go.
It's starting to get very rare that you see artists out here that are actually originally from Arizona anymore. A majority of them either come from the Bay Area, Texas, New Mexico, a lot of different genres. But there was a time, like I know when I first came out here in 05, I remember there being a big beef as far as natives versus outsider hip hop. And there was a lot of cats that would, I mean, it was kind of to the point where it was like you had two different types of people, and it was kind of like choose a side. I mean, did you ever have that kind of experience with people that weren't from Arizona that were coming into the hip hop scene? That it was like territorial.
Hell yeah. But I don't know what it is about like people that come to Arizona. Maybe because they just are here for the first time or whatever it is. They get this perception that we supposed to be weak or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how many times I be sitting out and about and hearing two cats bickering and one cat say, I ain't from here, I'm from New York, or I'm from Detroit. I ain't one of you Arizona niggas. The fuck you mean, man?
Right. You live here.
Like, do you understand? Like, you in a state where we legalized to carry shit?
Right.
Seriously?
No, listen, that's
like really, man.
I'm glad you brought that up because.
And you think we don't ride? Like for real? You think it's about cactuses and water pumps out here? That's what you think? You're wrong. So stop it. We want to respect y'all, and we want to be respected. But please don't come to this state thinking that we some suckers that you can stomp all over anytime you want to. That's not how it is here. For crying out loud, homie, we right next to Cali.
Right.
So we love to bang. Straight up. Stop it. Just respect us and we respect you.
So I'm glad you bring that up. I mean, there's a lot going on right now in the politics of gun control and so on and so forth. And we do live in a state where you can easily just walk into a grocery store with a strap in your holster.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you feel with Arizona and us being so, you know, it's nothing to get to carry a firearm. But you've got places like Chicago where you can't have a firearm and things like that. Do you think they come out here and abuse that privilege? And then they feel like they got more to prove because they are out here where there's, I mean, we're in the Wild Wild West here. You know, I mean, it's really the West out here.
I mean, I get along with a lot of cats from different areas, Detroit, Chicago, New York, LA, wherever. And you wouldn't believe how many of them don't even know that they're legal, they can carry legally out here. They're like, oh, you can?
That's true.
Like, yeah, man.
That's true.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because they're used to how they live and where they from.
Right.
And then they might be out here on a rush to get out here on something, whatever they're doing or whatever. You know, and trying to mingle in, but they don't really know, like, damn, man,
politics
like, yeah, they don't know the politics, so they like, oh, I can carry, like, for real, like, for real, y'all do that? Yeah, man.
Now, do you think it has something to do with, I mean, you go to a place like right now, they're calling Chicago Chirac, and they're having the military take over the police state out there. I mean, it's like a war zone going out there, and we're pretty fortunate to be in a state where you can carry firearms, but we don't have nearly as many, much of what's going on out there.
What do you think the government calls their missiles? The nickname for what they call their missiles and their weapons. Peacekeepers. They're peacekeepers. When you in a place like that where everybody legalized to carry something, you less likely to act a damn fool with somebody so quick.
That's true.
Because 9 times out of 10, they packing even before you are in this state. So it kind of keeps a peace about things out here. Don't get it wrong, we still get ignorant.
There's still a lot of homicides out here. We're still pretty high in the country, but
we ain't nothing like Chicago.
Right.
Chicago is ridiculous.
It's sad because, you know, I've been seeing, especially on social media, a lot of pictures and videos going around of, I mean, these kids are being killed. Innocent babies at the playgrounds getting shot up, and moms doing videos on Facebook saying they're afraid to even walk to the corner store because they're afraid of losing their life or their babies losing their life. I mean, and it seems like we are kind of sheltered here in Arizona from that kind of life. You know, I mean, I remember one evening, or was it one Saturday, I went over to True headquarters with C Alpha and over on the south side, and literally right in front of the house someone was shooting off. And it was like everybody was kind of like, you know, ooh, what was that, what's going on? But then it was just like, oh, nothing, you know what I'm saying, party went going. It seems like we're kind of spoiled out here because we really don't have to worry about those same types of issues. However, on the flip side, we are also known for a lot of our house parties out here that are getting shot up. A lot of these young teenagers out here getting shot up. I mean, do you feel that it does tie into the hip-hop culture in general?
Not directly. Not directly.
Do you think that?
I mean, like, the streets are the streets.
Right.
Period. You know what I'm saying? And it's not something I would directly relate with music. You know what I'm saying?
Because it seems like hip-hop gets this bad rap and this bad stereotype of brainwashing our kids being criminals and so on and so forth. Now, I won't dispute that some of the newer music, yes, but I mean, I think it's just people with a whole bunch of point to prove. I don't really necessarily think that hip-hop is to blame all the time.
Bad parenting, man, that's it.
Yeah.
Either you were a mother and did motherly things, or you were a father and did fatherly things to guide a child in the right direction and make a difference in their life. And music ain't do shit. it ain't never been and never will be about the music making your kids do something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now you're a father, and your son, J-Mac, actually is an artist as well.
J-Mac, woo woo, what up, son?
And you have a beautiful daughter,
Leah Mac,
sweet as can be.
Deja Mac, woo woo, what's up? Big up from Pops, love you.
Now what do you instill, like especially with your son being in the hip hop community as an artist out here, I mean, do you ever really worry about him and being involved in the urban,
of course,
pop culture?
There's a lot of hardcore aspects about me that I'm sure he's taken with him, you know what I'm saying? But I lived a different life than he's had to live, you know what I mean? And but that hardcore side about me, he definitely got that.
So as a father, I mean, how do you effectively instill in your children to not go down that same path?
Put it this way, I've had many conversations with my son, you know what I'm saying? Whether he's decided to listen or not at this point, which most sons don't do when they're so young. They just don't listen to their fathers too much. Some do, some don't. But I know he hurt me. So it's just a matter of time until it grows with him and he has a complete understanding. Oh, that's what the hell my dad was saying. Oh God, I should have listened. You know what I mean? Just like I was with my parents, and most teenagers are with their parents. We all tell our kids to do the right things, but sometimes it just takes time for our kids to develop and mature to understand what you were saying. But they heard you. They heard you. Now there's some unfortunate kids out there that parents don't even take the time to even talk to their kids. They just don't. Whether it's because of other things, you know what I mean? Like maybe mom has to work 2-3 jobs and she ain't got time. She get home, she tired. You know what I'm saying? She ain't got time to always sit down and talk to her kid. You know what I mean? So while she's at work, he's running the streets and getting game from pimps, hustlers, and everything, and dope dealers. You know what I'm saying? But mama's tired.
Stop letting the streets raise your babies.
You know what I mean? And see, mom may have to do that though. That's because she's by herself. She's a single parent. She's got to do that.
Right.
So she doesn't have as much time as she would like to talk to her son and educate him.
Some of it is definitely circumstance, but I think a lot of it is that, you know, sometimes a lot of parents are misappropriating their time.
Right.
Where, you know, it should be spent somewhere else. I mean, I really have always been a firm believer that it's really not the music, it's what's already instilled in that child, that they take what they want out of the music.
You know? And there's a lot of kids that are in an environment that, you know, they're trying to fit into because they don't know if they're going to get out. You know, they thinking, man, this is what I'm going to be. It's messed up around here and this is how it's going to be for me. They don't know, you can get out. Whether it is, you know, through education or not. There's a way, but they sometimes they lose a little bit of hope. You know what I mean? And that's sad.
I agree. Now, I mean, as far as, you know, what's going on in the culture right now, you are more focusing on being a solo artist now.
As of right now, you know, I do have some solo work that I've been doing right now. Got a new album out right now. Defeated All My Enemies.
And we were talking about that because you really haven't done very much promotion for it.
I mean, I've been pushing my brand. You know, y'all see me out there in the streets pushing my brand with the Aquamack fashion.
Aquamack.
You know what I'm saying? I just been out there.
Where can they get one of those shirts?
You can go to aquamack.com. You know what I'm saying? AKOMACK.com.
Now, where does the name Ako come from?
Ako is Filipino. It means meat.
Nice.
My last name's Mack.
I love it.
Yeah, that's my real name.
I love it.
So that, for me to use my real name and not an alias when y'all see me stomping around the streets means I ain't scared of none of y'all.
Right. They can find you.
You can find me.
Regardless.
I ain't scared of none of y'all. You can find me. Look me up. That's my government.
Not the government.
That's my government.
So you've got the clothing. I mean, and that's where I'm more familiar is, you know, like any event that I've really ever been to, I see you just pop up. And we were talking about that the other day as far as like promotion and things like that, because you're now going also more into the promotion side of things and effective selling. And we were talking about the difference of social media and online storefronts versus the old school way of out the trunk sales. And you prefer not to focus so much on the social media and the online storefront of sales. You really do prefer to go in hand to hand with the people. Tell us the difference and why you actually choose it that way.
Social media is dry. You can't really communicate with me or get to know me or see my persona. But when we in the streets and I'm handing you that CD or that T-shirt, I can have a conversation with you. I can chop it up with you. You can already get an understanding right then and there of what I'm like. I can play my music for you right then and there. You get to feel it. It's tangible in your hand. It's like, man, they go to CD. It's got the artwork and the picture. You can feel it. I want you to feel Aqua Mac. You know what I'm saying? But social media is so dry. And you're crammed in with a whole bunch of other cats trying to do the same thing. You know what I mean? So you're like, well, you're making macaroni, and you got macaroni, and you got macaroni. You don't really know which macaroni tastes better because it all looks like macaroni. You just think it's macaroni and cheese, so you just dip your spoon into whatever and you go with it. But really, I got more cheese. I got more of this in mine, a little more of that in mine. But you're not gonna know that because it's just always in front of your face, the same thing. Right. When you're looking at that computer. But when we in the streets, you get to chop it up. Let me see what this cat about. Let me talk to him. Let me feel where he's coming from. You know what I mean? That's the difference.
Rocky had mentioned it more as like when you're face to face versus anything else, it gives you that opportunity to actually build a support base. Like not just, I mean, he said he'd rather have supporters than fans. I mean, do you feel that you build more of a support system than a fan base when you are doing that hand to hand?
Definitely.
And it works.
Because at that point, either you got me, you dug where I was coming from, and you liked me, or you didn't.
Right. But I remember in the 90s when it was the era of selling out the trunk hustle, the out the back of your trunk hustle, CDs, mixtapes, tapes, clothes, shoes, handbags. I mean, I remember going to events and it was like just walking through the parking lot was going to a flea market. And people was getting caked up. Now it seems like with social media, people are building more networks, but it seems like their money really isn't matching the network base.
And that, once again, that goes back to there's so many of people like me, not like me, but doing what I'm doing when it comes to a social media point of view. You know what I mean? There's just so many of us. So it's not as much respected. You don't respect the artist that much because I can get 1 million of you anytime I want in 5 minutes, 10 minutes, or whatever it takes for you to download. So the value online for an artist is kind of diminished. It kind of diminishes you. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's a powerful tool.
It does.
But for your art and everything, it kind of diminishes things a little bit. Like back in the day, you had to go to the record store. You had to get up, get off your couch, put the remote down, and go to the store and support your artist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? All of that.
Yeah.
And that brought a certain value to an artist. You know what I mean? Now it's, I'll just wait till it's free.
Well, that's another thing is a lot of artists are devaluing themselves by making it free a lot of times.
I mean, we're talking about a whole new culture and a whole new generation that are so computer savvy now. So That's what they're used to. That's just what they're used to. Now, me personally, I'll give you a free single. I do it all the time when I'm in the street. I'll give you a free single. But I'm not giving you a whole damn album for free. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm not going to do that. If you appreciate what I do and you respect what I do, buy the freaking album, man. Support. I'm not doing this, you know what I'm saying?
Because it takes money to
it takes money to put CDs and T-shirts and all that stuff together.
A lot of your own stuff. You do all your own stuff. Your CDs, your print pressing, which is valuable because, I mean, you come from mainstream. You were with Interscope.
Well, I don't come from mainstream. I come from underground hip-hop. Let's get that straight.
Okay.
I come from an underground hip-hop structure.
So what was that experience and that difference that versus underground versus mainstream?
Oh, the politics. The politics becomes atrocious when you get up in that when you get in that machine. Very, very dangerous playground, young man.
Would you ever go back?
I would go back on my terms, though. Not their terms. Check this out. Like, it wasn't too long ago where you can go get a record deal and you get $1 million advance. Probably get $500,000 or $1 million in your budget. And the difference is you took your advance, which basically you put in your pocket, you know what I mean? And then you had your budget, which went into your promotion and everything like that, okay? So understand what I say about advance and budget. Now, they handed out these 360s,
right?
Where they taking everything,
right?
Okay. T-shirt, record label get paid.
Even if it's your own.
Yeah, even if it's your own.
Before you even sign.
Right. You getting licensing deal? Pay up.
They want it all.
You got a show? Oh, pay up. Oh, you sold a CD? Pay up.
Right.
Not in my day. No, it wasn't like that. And I would never take a 360 deal. So if you ask me to, right now, if I would go back to that, the way it is now, fuck no.
Right. And see, a lot of people don't realize that. You know, I mean, when we first really started connecting, it was on the indie boom tip. And you had an interest in wanting to know more information about it. And, I mean, that is why it's so important for structures such as indie boom, such as what you do, to keep it independent, solely independent, so you have all control. You have all control. I mean, and I support anybody that does sign mainstream because, I mean, I know the hard work and dedication it goes into to actually get a deal nowadays, especially with there being no artist development available. You really have to go and be already established and prepared to actually get into the mainstream market. So, I mean, I highly salute anybody that makes it, but, I mean, the importance of the independent network and the platform is more of a benefit to the individual artist.
Definitely.
But it takes investment.
It takes investment. It may take you a little longer. But let me tell you like this. If you were to go get a 360 deal right now, they would throw you a chunk of change. Wouldn't be much, but they'll throw you a chunk of change. Whether it was for 3 albums, 4 albums, whatever it is. So let's say it threw you $100,000 to sign up. I'm gonna throw you $100 grand. Come sign with us, and for that $100 grand, we want 3 albums. Plus, we want a percentage of your record sales, your merch sales, your tour, your licensing. We want all of that. All right. You'd have $100 grand. Now, mind this. What a lot of cats don't understand, when you start reaching that amount of money in your bank accounts and such, you're in a whole different tax bracket.
They're coming to get it.
Yeah, so $100 grand just went to 50 grand. You ain't even bought your car yet. You ain't bought your new gear yet. You ain't bought your crib yet. You ain't took care of the people that's riding with you yet. You ain't done none of this yet. So by the time you done with that $100 grand, you got $10,000, $15,000 left. And guess who has to set up the tours? You. And after you set up them tours, guess who gets a cut of that? Them.
Right.
You still got to print up your merchandise. Guess who got to pay for that? You. You see where I'm going with this, y'all? Stay independent, man. Don't let them throw some money in your face and you think, yeah, you made it. No, hell no, you ain't. You just got into deep shit is what happened. That shit is serious. Serious debt.
Right.
You in debt with them? Oh my God.
I mean, and a majority of artists out there that do go mainstream, they end up filing bankruptcy very quickly.
Yeah. And you got to be careful on that bankruptcy because there'll be a lot of artists that are still paid, but they file bankruptcy, and opposed to us people that work 9 to 5s, we think they're broke. Well, when they file bankruptcy, they're not really broke.
They just don't want to pay their debt.
Yeah, I mean, I won't say they won't pay their debts, but like their broke is a whole different scale. You know what I mean? Like they got 10 million in the bank, and we're calling them broke. You know what I mean?
Right, right. Because they are in that different bracket.
Yeah, they're just
so
in
their
a different
broke
tax
is a different
bracket.
broke. Like their broke is not my broke.
Nah, it's not the 9 to 5.
Right. Now let's talk more about like the promotion side of things, because you know, I mean, I hear too often out here in Arizona a lot of issues with janky promotion, venues that take advantage of the artists. I mean, you have some larger scale independent locations that the artists pay to perform, and they really don't get anything past that performance. They just get to perform, maybe about a 10-minute set, and then it's all said and done. But I mean, you've got a show coming up with Yuck Mouth. What does that take as a promoter to actually make sure that you are efficiently providing a stable platform for an artist?
Well, for me, it's like this. It's something I want to keep doing. And because a lot of cats can't go out of town.
Right.
They don't have the money to keep going out of town and performing in different states and such like that. So what I want to do is keep bringing these legends or top artists, so to speak, in the industry or whatever they call them, to Phoenix.
Right.
So that these cats locally have the opportunity to always step in front of these cats and shine.
Right.
Shine all the time. That's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Now, as far as like tickets and stuff like that, let me tell you who really started this. That's these clubs.
Yeah.
These clubs have pigeonholed everybody into a situation with this whole new method on how they allow artists to perform. For example, if I wanted to book a show in Chicago, and the club says, well, how many people can you bring to the club? That's not my job. That's your job, to promote your own venue.
I think venues should already have a...
Yes, you should always already have something built in, a built-in fan base. It's not my job to promote your venue. What you need to do is pay me to do my job, which is music. Period. You promote your damn venue. Promote your own damn venue. I'm coming to rock that shit. Pay me for what I do.
Well, I mean, there are effective ways to, you know, I mean, like I've got a show myself that I've got coming up on August 1st, and I know that the way we have it set up is that the artists, you know, they do pay to perform, but they're not paying for their performance. They're paying for the unlimited digital distribution for a few years. The performance is an incentive for that. And then they have ways of making their money back by, if they choose to sell ticket sales, they can. If not, then oh well. You know what I mean? It's really up to you if you want your fans to come out. You know what I mean? But we are also effectively working. Like, I'm not sleeping. I sleep maybe about 3 hours a night, and that's because I'm doing all the promotion. I'm doing all the connections. You know, I mean, we were just blessed to get 98.2 The Beat on board from Cali. Henry G's coming out salute Henry G and Stay Tuned Entertainment. But I agree with you. It really should be there should be a certain level of promotion that the venue or the promoters are putting into the event that doesn't necessarily have to rely solely on the artist to bring that crowd.
Right.
I agree with you.
It's your venue.
I agree. And trust me, if you're in, I can only say just from experience, if you are interested in promoting, it is definitely not for the weak. There are times where I cry. Lady Perm has cried because of the stress involved. It is definitely not something that just, I mean, you get a lot of people that just wake up and say, I got a lot of homeboys, I know they'll buy tickets, I'm going to throw on a show, and then nobody comes out.
Why does that happen? I just had this conversation today.
Did you? Okay, well, bless us.
I just had this conversation.
Bless us.
Before you go do a show or book a venue to do a show, spend that time doing the footwork. Spend that time out there in the streets giving away your free single, not your free album.
But what about the promoters that aren't artists, that don't have a single? I mean, how can you effectively promote?
Hold on. One thing. I'm talking about these artists.
Okay, we're talking about the artists. Okay.
Because you should be out there booking your own shows. But put in the time first. Go out there, be giving out your singles, you know what I'm saying? Flick that to them. Get that in their ear. But giving away whole albums, it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. That's how I was grown in this game, and I still believe in that. If it ain't making dollars, it ain't making sense. But on the promotion factor, go ahead and give out some free media. Go ahead, flick that all day, but not a whole freaking album. And my point is, get in these streets and get in touch with the people, your own community. Let these people see you, let them interact with you, because this hand-to-hand game, you can't stop it.
It's combat out there.
You know what I mean? It is.
It's combat.
And for you cats,
every artist the best artist. You know, like Prophetical said, there's not one artist that he's heard that says, I'm not as good as this artist. Everybody is the best.
Everybody
according to themselves. So,
but the game is still 90-10. It's 90% business and 10% your music. Which means you could have the dopest album anybody's ever created. But if 90% of your business wasn't handled, nobody's ever going to hear it. And you'll never sell.
Right.
So handle your business. Get out there. Do your footwork. Do your promo in the streets with your music. Then set up your venue. Now you can say, hey, come see me rock. Charge them to see you rock, because they got a taste of it.
And I can attest to that. I mean, I, as an entity, spent 2 years investing in myself as a brand before I even stepped into the world of putting on shows and promotion. My first show was with Tap That Ash. Can't really see it. But my first show was 420. We had a great event. The news, Channel 15 came out, featured us. I mean, we had a lot of support that came out. We were also in competition with not only Jesus, but Bone Thugs and Harmony. So for what we were working with, it was actually a really great turnout. But I spent 2 years building with people and networking and building a brand for myself. I didn't just wake up one day and said, I'm going to be a promoter. I created a 5-year plan. I'm actually 80% accomplished 2 years into the game. That's from me being out there. Started with the eye candies, Golden Fee Media is my company, just meeting people, talking to different people. Of course, social media played a part in it. But I mean, I think some of these people really got it fucked up when they just wake up. They feel they fresh. They got enough homies that they think they can put on a show. And I mean, really get your mind right, because you really got the game fucked up if you think it's really just about.
I got fans worldwide for since 2001. It's still tough for me sometimes.
Right.
So if you think you just finna wake up and it's gonna happen overnight, man, go back to dreaming. Just take another dose of NyQuil, Nitol, whatever it is you do, and just go back to sleep and keep dreaming, because that ain't gonna happen.
I agree, and I think that's why there is a lot of promoters out there that owe a lot of artists money out here.
Yeah.
They owe a lot of money from either janky promotion or, you know, I mean, when I had Born Divine out here for a few weeks, and he was supposed to do a show with AK at Executives, and I mean, that was a prime example of a situation gone wrong for a show, which, I mean, the show still went on. I think it still turned out great, but it really shows you